Welcome everyone to this week's video. Today we are on Fish Friday number 59 and we have an interesting one for you today. Today's fish is not very well known. Very odd. It's just an odd fish. But really neat. Today we are going to be talking about the long-snouted lancet fish. So, long-snouted lancet fish, or scientific name Alepisaurus ferox. Again, that's Alepisaurus ferox. It is part of the family Alepisauridae. There are only 2 species in this entire family, and they are in the same genus. So this is what is called a monotypic family. So this and one other, just so you're for your own knowledge, the other one is the short-snouted lancet. There's potential for there to be other species, but right now they only have 2. Now this fish is found in the Pacific and Indian Oceans and also the Western Atlantic. They're found all throughout the ocean except in the polar region. So basically anywhere from, it's hard to say, they're just very, very widespread, but they're not very numerous. It's not that they're endangered, they just out in groups. They hang out way away from shorelines. And not only that, something interesting about these is that they're found at all levels of the ocean. These can be found at the top of the water all the way down to 1,830, so 6,000 feet. Anywhere from 1 foot depth, 6,000 feet, which is really kind of, I wouldn't say unique, but it's definitely not that common in the fish world. These are a relatively decent sized fish. They grow, the largest ones grow to about 215 centimeters, which is about 85 inches. In weighs, they're not heavy though. They weigh up to 9 kilograms, about 20 pounds. As you can tell from this picture, these things are very long and skinny. That's why they don't weigh a lot. They may be long, but they do not have a lot of body mass to them. But in terms of like identification, got bright silvery sides. They do not have any scales. They have this really in-depth lateral line here, and obviously, see it, this very, very long and elongated and high dorsal fin. You can't really see in this picture, but you can see better in this picture. They always have 3 to 4 rays that are strongly exerted, that the fin rays really stick way out of the something else, all the fins are dark. Their tail fin is very, very forked. Really forked. Extremely large eyes as well. So relatively unique. However, talking about the elephant in the room, and probably the first thing that many of you noticed is the mouth. Mouth is pretty intense. By the way, here you can see the 3 dorsal rays, strongly exerted. It has a very, very, very large mouth. It reaches beyond the back part of the eyes, and they have 2 fangs right up here. They have some bottom fangs, but these fangs look serious, don't they? Definitely look like they can put a hurting on you. In fact, the teeth have 2 functions. The functions are either breaking apart food that they found, so think like a shark just taking and biting and shaking it to get a piece of food off, or something else that these do is these fish are used for cutting the prey's trunk muscles to stop the prey from struggling. These do not seem to be a very strong swimmer. They seem to be rather ambush predators. They're just hanging out, and then if they see something, pack it super quick, but they can't swim very fast for very long. So what they do is they grab onto theirs and they try and cut the muscles so that the fish cannot struggle or anything. It's even though they have these very tiny teeth in there as well, you can see here, these do not chew. These fish do not chew. They're very much a break apart something and then swallow the piece, or just swallow the entire thing. In terms of what they're eating, though, they have an extremely varied diet. Fish, octopuses, squids. Something else they eat, other lancet. It turns out that a large portion of their diet is other lancet fish, which is why this fish has a common name of cannibal fish. They actually eat enough of their own species that they have gotten a nickname as a cannibal. Now you might, something else about these, talking about their varied diet. One thing that scientists have found is that these fish eat a lot of plastic. I want to say during one study they found 30% of all the lancet fish had plastics in their gut, which probably is from like plastics floating down from the top, and they just see something moving and they quickly just eat it real quick. So it just shows that plastics are at all levels of the ocean. A little bit down, but it is what it is. Now these are very important as a predator and a prey for the ecosystem. Studies have shown huge drops in environmental health when lancet fish are taken out of the environment, both as a predator, eating the smaller fish, eating the octopuses, eating squids, eating kind of whatever they can get a hold of, and other lancet fish. But then these are also prey to very important organisms. Yellowfin tuna, the opah seals. These are really important as a prey to other things. And firstly, they are not very important for humans. Apparently, this fish does not have a taste. It's very watery flesh. It just does not cook well. So this fish is actually not used for human consumption. There's some restaurants that consider delicacy, it's considered sweet, but there is no like large scale commercial. Something interesting though about this fish is that this fish is a simultaneous hermaphrodite. And what I mean by that is all lancet fish have both male and female sex organs. But not much is known about their reproduction. I'm under the assumption that the lancet fish is a pelagic spawner, meaning that they just kind of spray all their stuff out into the male sperm out into the water, and then somehow it gets uptaken in the body. They don't really have the same hermaphrodism that other fish have had. So it's really unique. It's definitely warrants for studies. Now, for the interesting fact that we're going to end the video on. We talked about their extremely varied diet. Well, you might be thinking, you look at this fish, it's super long and skinny. How in the heck does it eat another lancet fish, other fish, octopuses and squids? How does it do that? Well, their stomach actually distends quite a bit, stretches. It can stretch a lot. But the interesting thing is they have a very unique stomach. It's basically a large blood sac, and very little digestion happens. That's what it means by very little digestion happens. Basically just sitting there. The stomach stores it, and then it doesn't really start getting digested until it hits the intestine. And the reason for that is that it's just kind of like stores. They may not come across food all that much. They don't seem to be that good hunters. So all the evidence really points to the diet being, if they see something, they're going to eat it, and then they'll store it in their stomach for later and just let it sit there because they don't know when. Then kind of adding on to that, the reason why it's really important, why this is interesting, is that these stomachs are actually used for studying pelagic biodiversity. Think about that very diet that I talking about. Well, these are caught quite a bit in commercial. I think they're just not the that are going after, especially tuna fishing, the long lines. These fish are commonly caught. Well, scientists have started to use that bycatch, these Lancet caught, opening their stomachs and examining the content. And since their stomachs do not digest food like most other stomachs that you would think of, it happens in the small intestine. That means that the food items in their stomach are actually very undigested. So the scientists get a very good look at what this Lancetfish is these. And the reason why this is really important is because we know a lot about the bottom tier organisms, the lower trophic level organisms in the ocean. I shouldn't say a lot. We know quite a bit. And we know about the top predators. We know about the plankton, things that eat. And we know about the sharks, seals, and things. But scientists, we really don't have a very good idea of what the mid-trophic look like, especially in the deep ocean, pelagic. And so it's been really good for scientists to look at these animals that they found and see what those kind of mid-tier organisms super into it more. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you. If I don't, please be safe. Have a great day. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you do, I'd really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. And peace.